Good morning, it's good to be with you again. Today we're going to be looking at Psalm 4. I'll read it. Answer me when I call to you, my righteous God. Give me relief from my distress. Have mercy on me and hear my prayer. How long will you people turn my glory into shame? How long will you love delusions and seek false gods? Know that the Lord has set apart his faithful servant for himself. The Lord hears when I call to him. Tremble and do not sin. When you are on your beds, search your hearts and be silent. Offer the sacrifices of the righteous and trust in the Lord. Many, Lord, are asking, who will bring us prosperity? Let the light of your face shine on us. Fill my heart with joy when their grain and new wine abound. In peace I will lie down and sleep, for you alone, Lord, make me dwell in safety. When I was in seminary, I had a very wonderful professor named Dr. Gordon Fee. He was a New Testament scholar and had contributed to the translation of the New International Version. So he was quite an interesting guy. And he told us this story, I'm going to shorten it for you, of a science student who's given an assignment by his teacher to study a fish. And he studies it, comes back and writes a little report on it. Professor says, go back and look at it again. And this happens again and again until the student in exasperation finally sits down and really studies this fish and realizes that the professor has been trying to get him to stop and really look, and he sees things that he just hadn't seen before. Dr. Fee used that as an example of how we study Scripture, because this one is a good example of it. When you read Psalm 4, it's a little confusing. Who's he talking to at different parts? And it only really yields to a careful meditative study. So I want to do that with you now, and I want to pull it apart. Let's just go verse by verse. It begins with a prayer, ends with a prayer too. Verse 1. And please feel free to pause this and get a Bible if you'd like. Answer me when I call to you, O my righteous God. Give me relief from my distress. Have mercy on me and hear my prayer. This is David. He's calling out to God. He begins with a prayer. But then he turns. Now he's talking to people. People in particular who are his adversaries. He says, how long will you people turn my glory into shame? In other words, his glorying in God. How long will you love delusions and seek false gods? So these are people who are critical of David for his faith, and he's speaking to them, to these adversaries in this psalm. He says, how long will you turn my glory into shame? How long will you continue to seek, love delusions and seek false gods? That's what David's feeling, and I think a lot of us can feel that at times when people are being hard on us for our faith. And then he makes a defense of himself. Know that the Lord has set apart his faithful servant for himself. He's talking about himself now. The Lord hears when I call to him. That's how we know he's talking about himself, because he turns it from the third person, his faithful servant, to I. Listen to it again. Know that the Lord has set apart his faithful servant for himself. The Lord hears when I call him. So he's saying, people, God hears when I talk to him. Now he turns to advice. And I'm going to translate this next verse, verse 4, the way it can be translated, because the word is difficult that's translated tremble, but it can also be, it's an imperative, be angry. So we'll recognize it, perhaps, if I translate it that way. Be angry and sin not when you're on your beds. Does that sound like Paul in Galatians? Do not let the sun go down in your anger. That's where Paul derived it from verse 4 of Psalm 4. So again, it's saying, be angry and do not sin. When you are on your bed, search your hearts and be silent. So now he's giving advice. One more piece of advice. Offer the sacrifices of the righteous and trust in the Lord. So he's gone from prayer to a bit of an attack, to a defense of himself, now to advice. Finally, he ends again with prayer in verse 6. Many, Lord, are asking, and then this is why it's difficult. Now he's putting it in the third person. These people now are asking, who will bring us prosperity? Let the light of your face shine on us. So people are saying, as they're saying today, God, are you angry at us? When will you bring us back to our prosperity? When will you smile on us again? That's what it says. Who will bring us prosperity? Let the light of your face shine on us. But then he continues, fill my heart with joy when their grain and new wine abound. Again, a little hard, but what it's saying is, Lord, may I be joyous again as at the harvest, as a farmer at the harvest. And what a great prayer that is for us. Because when we're all through this, we're going to feel joy and there's going to be celebration. We all know that's coming. And then finally, a prayer that we could all memorize here in verse 8. In peace I will lie down and sleep, for you alone, Lord, make me dwell in safety. Let me just read that again. In peace I will lie down and sleep, for you alone, Lord, make me dwell in safety. And that really is a great verse for us through this crisis, isn't it? I will lie down in peace, for you alone, Lord, make me dwell in safety. Nothing can take us out of the hands of God. Nothing can take us out of his faithfulness. He's with you today. He's with me. And may God bless you. May his love shine down upon you today.